Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Monday, and a reminder, all of our guests today sponsored by Basant Motors. Getting to your destination starts with them. At Basant, find the best deals, largest selection, and best financing. Visit basantmotors.com or visit them in store in beautiful Fleetwood. Frank.
Oh,
they're right
there. I know where they are. It's a great spot.
It is indeed. So we're now going to head to Edmonton and recap the Oilers' massive 8-1 Game 4 victory with Tom Gazzola out of Edmonton, host of the Oil Stream pre- and post-game show on edmontonsportstalk.com. Tom, thanks for doing this. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, guys. What a weekend it was here, man. The city was buzzing. So everyone's recovering today, I think, getting ready for tomorrow. Still, I know it was a couple days ago, but that's just Edmonton in June, I guess.
So before we talk about Game 4, what was the reaction Game 3? Like, what was the feedback you were getting? Where were Oilers fans' heads at after Game 3?
Well, they were disappointed. Obviously, some were jumping off the bandwagon, as tends to happen. There was a lot of anger and frustration. A lot of it went towards Stu Skinner, oddly enough, who's I think has been pretty good since he had that reset a couple of weeks ago against the Vancouver Canucks. And but people here just want to point fingers and they want to find solutions for the team, and they think they have all the answers, and really we don't all know. And even though we think we're the smartest guys in the world, we're really not. It's the team and the management and the coaching staff that can figure it out. So a lot of panic, obviously, and kind of resigning to the fact that the cup was going to be lost, and just hoping that Edmonton could win Game 4. So it was a dagger. It was the wind coming out of the sails. It was the balloon being popped. All of those things after Game 3. Safe to describe it that way for sure.
So I'm going to assume after Game 4, it's where's the parade going exactly? Who's getting the cup first? All of those sorts of things? Is that what was happening?
Yeah. Yeah. We haven't gone that extreme yet, although on our morning show, I could tell that people were super excited because, so you're saying there's a chance. They're telling us there's a chance, and hope is good. It's good to have that positivity. You want to manifest it, all that good stuff. But I don't think we're there yet, and there's a long road, certainly. But there's some encouraging things, I think, from the 8-1 win. The score, obviously, is one thing. And I know today there's a few guys from the Panthers who weren't skating. Maybe they're a little bit nicked up. I don't know what exactly is going on. I haven't been able to double check yet because we've been on the air already and recapping everything that happened. So no parade being planned just yet, but you do have those few texters and people being like, guys, it's destiny. I mean, this team was last in the league in November, and look what they did. And I mean, they were on the ropes against the Canucks. It's destiny, guys. 42 Leafs, 24 Oilers. We get some of those, but I think most people here have a general understanding that one game at a time, Florida's a really damn good team, and Edmonton has its work cut out for it.
Hey, Tom, just one goal in the first two games, and everyone's saying, what's going on? Will they ever beat Bobrovsky? To chase him on Saturday, that's huge. I mean, you know what? He only lasted 25 minutes. First 4 goals on 11 shots. Just for the confidence of these guys to say, hey, you know what? Not only we can beat this guy, we chased him. That's huge.
Absolutely, and it got a bunch of guys going, too, because, McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins, we're talking about them not scoring any goals in the first 3 games, and we're wondering, should we be making a bigger deal out of this? And I think, we gave it the light it deserved, but guys like Holloway getting off the schneid, Ryan McLeod, who's had a pretty rough playoffs, getting one really late in the game, things like that happening kind of helped as well. And then, I think there's a bit of a mental hurdle getting past Bobrovsky and how good he was, especially in the first 2 games. I thought he was still pretty good in Game 3, but to do it the way they did and really just take it to the Cats and Bobrovsky, I think gives the Oil a little bit of a confidence boost. And then if you do have guys who are kind of dawdling and not being able to get anything going offensively, kind of get off the schneid, like I mentioned, I think that goes a long way too, and giving Edmonton a little bit of confidence in Game 5 to know that they are capable of solving Bobrovsky. They have a a method to do it, and they've done it. So I mean, they're convinced in their minds. But again, we'll see what the Panthers throw at the Oilers. I feel like that the Panthers are going to try to want to do what the Oilers did to them on Saturday, and do it tomorrow night, and carry that trophy that we love talking about so very, very much. So it's going to be interesting that way. But yeah, there were so many positives from an Edmonton standpoint, and I think guys scoring, getting going offensively, and then on top of all that, the icing would definitely be solving Bobrovsky and doing it in convincing fashion.
But, Tom, you know what? They're going to need one hell of a game from Skinner. He's been up and down in the playoffs. You've seen it. The fans, media all over him. One series and then saying he was great in another. Skinner, if he gives him a great game, there's a good chance this is going back to Edmonton.
And he was excellent the other night. I'll give him credit. He was making some big saves. And he does need to be really good. There are people, we want to talk about how it just flip-flops, and you guys know it being in Vancouver. You know how fans can be. On the post-game show the other night, I'm sitting there and people are going, how is Skinner not mad? Why isn't he angry? I can't stand this guy anymore. And Skinner was very, mellow and thoughtful when he was discussing the Game 3 loss, and people took that differently, obviously, and they thought that he needed to be smashing sticks and dropping expletives in his post-game presser, but that's not him. That's not his nature. And what he did is he went and he bounced back with his best game of the playoffs for sure. I would say it was probably his best game of the season. He was absolutely excellent for them, and he's going to need to continue that because he is going to get shelled by the Panthers. The Oilers, as we've seen in this postseason, as we've seen in the Stanley Cup final, they are not airtight defensively. They give up some 10-bell chances, and they need their goalies to be there. Right now, it's Skinner obviously being the guy, but there was also another thing that happened in the game really early on where the Panthers hit the post twice in a quick bang sequence, and I think that kind of helped set the tone. The Oilers went right back and scored, and then Skinner kind of got into a groove. If one of those goes posting in, and I think we could be talking about the cup being passed out to the Panthers at a completely different series and this thing being over. So, funny how that works, and it's a game of inches and all those cliches, but he really, really settled in after that, and then getting the run support after two went a long way. But they need him to be razor sharp, just like he was the other night.
Yeah. Connor McDavid breaks Wayne Gretzky's record, most assists in a single playoff. He's got 32 as it stands right now. Do people in Edmonton still marvel at Connor McDavid, or is it kind of become, I don't want to say old news because it's too easy to say, but is it still a marvel thing with Connor McDavid?
I think so. I think, after the Gretzky years, I know it's been a few decades, but having a guy like McDavid, it's weird. I could tell you from a media perspective, you guys, when you go down to the rink and you watch a morning skate or just an off day practice or whatever, and you see one of those guys do something brilliant in practice, you kind of don't bat an eyelash. You're like, oh, it's just Connor doing Connor things. But then he does it in a game, and there are still those moments where you go, wow, that was amazing. I've never seen anything like that. And I think the fans do really appreciate it and are still marveling at what he can do. He is absolutely brilliant as a hockey player. I would love to, if this was ever something that could be made possible, see the game the way he does and how he can predict things that are going to happen and create plays. Like, to understand and comprehend the game the way Connor McDavid does would be just for one game, just to understand it and see it in the way he does would be amazing. So I don't think it's lost on the Oilers fans. And I think, we have to pinch ourselves every now and then and be like, take off the orange and blue glasses, whatever. This guy is absolutely brilliant. He's doing stuff that's never been done before, breaking a record Wayne Gretzky held forever, obviously, in the postseason. I think is telling. He's a big game player when it matters most, and it's absolutely incredible to see what he does. And yeah, I think the appreciation is there for him. I'll add this too, guys. Yep. With their contracts, Draisaitl and McDavid, it also has Oilers fans concerned. And I think it's just a natural instinct, especially considering, the exodus of the late 80s, early 90s, even into the 2000s, guys like Doug Weight, Bill Guerin being shipped out due to not having the funds that some of the bigger market teams had. That has kind of stayed with Oilers fans. So I think that there is a little bit of that concern as well with guys like McDavid and Draisaitl.
Well, we will find out tomorrow night if there isn't going to be another game at Rogers Place. But we thank you for the time today, Tom. Appreciate it. And I know tomorrow night will be an interesting post-game show no matter what happens.
Always. Never a dull moment out here. You guys know that. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.